Donald Trump held a rally in Schnecksville, Pennsylvania on Saturday. I had never been to a Trump rally before because there were never any close enough to where I live. But this rally was about an hour and a half away, so I figured it was worth it. It would probably be my last chance to go to a Trump rally before the election. So, in this video, I'm going to tell you what my personal experience was going to a Trump rally. And then I'm going to compare it with what a leftist columnist from the People's Republic of Philadelphia Inquirer wrote about it. And I'm going to point out the hatred for Trump supporters, the bias in the reporting, and the lies. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back. So I went online and requested admission to the rally. Within seconds, I got a text telling me I was confirmed, that I could use that text for admission into the event. Cool. The event started at 3 p.m. on Saturday, and Trump was scheduled to hit the stage around 7 p.m. Now, for security reasons, it's known that Trump never makes it to the stage on time. He's always late, about 15, 20 minutes, maybe even a half hour. I have a lot of friends who tell me that I should get there about 2 hours before the event starts, which would have put it at around 1 p.m. because the parking situation was going to be crazy. I'd never been to Schnecksville, didn't know what the parking situation was like. I looked it up online and it showed different parking lots, and I thought, okay, so they're expecting 10,000 people, so there should be plenty of parking. So we didn't get there until around 2:45 p.m. anyway. Actually, we got there at 2:30, but the traffic was bumper to bumper just to get past the entrance to the field where the rally was being held. Naturally, the giant parking lot was already filled to the brim. We could tell that the stadium seats were all taken as well. It was going to be standing room only. So we looked up the map that was online for parking lots. There were some that were about a mile and a half away, but they were filled up as well. We wouldn't have minded walking. There was no parking. So we turned around and headed back towards the stadium. And as we went past the entrance again that was being blocked, we asked one of the police officers standing guard there if he knew where any other parking lots were in the area. The officer pointed across the street and said, right over there, but it's probably filled. Other than that, no. So for giggles, I drove down half a block and I turned left at the light that went onto the street where the entrance to that parking lot was, right across the street from the event. Lo and behold, I got in immediately, paid $25 for all-day parking, and got a spot that was picture perfect near the exit. I couldn't have done better if I tried. So we got in line around 3:10 for the event. We didn't hit the Secret Service checkpoint to let us into the stadium until 7:30 p.m. We stood in line for over 4 hours, and I would have never done that for anyone other than Donald Trump. Hey guys, I got in line at around 3:10. It is now 6:16, and we still got about an hour to go. Look. We're doing it. The people we met during the 4-hour wait in line were the greatest experience I'd had in a long time. We met people from all walks of life and from all ages, from under 18 to 19 to 25 and 30 and on up. We had a lot of old timers like me there as well. What warmed my heart was to see that there were so many young people when you spoke to them who understood what's at stake for this election. Unlike many of our youth, these MAGA supporters were very familiar with the issues of national security, border control, our economy, and the lawfare that was being launched against Trump as pure election interference. I walked with a black man who goes by Bro Terrence. That's how he wrote his name when he texted me so I could get his number. He was one of the most well-informed people I ever met. And for the group of guys and girls we were walking with for over 4 hours, he was playing the Right Side Broadcasting Network on his phone that was covering the rally. To give you some perspective on where we were in line, from where we started out and going all the way until we were 2/3 of the way to the stadium, we could not hear the loudspeakers of the event inside the stadium. And when we got about halfway there, we looked back and saw that the end of the line was longer than when we had gotten in it 2 hours prior. It was unbelievable. The wind on Saturday was whipping us at around 30 miles per hour, and those who did not dress appropriately felt the cold that set in. It was a nice day in Schnecksville, sunny and with clear skies, but that wind turned it into what seemed like the middle of winter. We got here at 3:10. What is it now, 6:30?
About 6:30, and we still got an hour.
When we made it to the Secret Service security checkpoint, it seemed like we were never going to get through because the single file line that we had been following all along split out with people under a pavilion with two metal detectors side by side. We got in line where the Secret Service agents were doing the security wand and checking the items we removed from our clothing. TSA employees were in charge of the other security checkpoint that was to the right of them. The Secret Service agents were the most professional and courteous people we ever met who worked for the government. They got us in, scanned us, approved our car keys, wallets, and cough drops in record time.
Secret Service.
The TSA agents were supervised by a Karen who nonstop yelled at the crowd to stop pushing. The Secret Service guys had no problem with it, which is probably why we got through much quicker than the poor saps who were in the other line. It just so happened that we got to that security checkpoint as the Proud to Be an American song was playing, and we saw Trump appear at the top of the little walkway that takes you onto the stage, and he was clapping as he always does. It was cool to see him do it in person. There was a giant Jumbotron-like screen above the section where the podium was. We were only about 100 yards or so from the podium. We were on a plateau above where the stadium sank down, standing to the right of the news cameras that were filming the event. After what we endured through that 4-hour line with the wind and no bathrooms until we hit the stadium, we ended up in one of the best places you could be to watch Trump speak. Trump was how he was for every rally that I've ever watched in the past, where he was very well informed, very funny, very personable with the people, and he came across as a man who truly loves our country. Trump talked about all the failures of the Biden administration that are destroying our country and how he will fix them if elected in November. The former president said he admired all the people who stood in line for so long with the incredible wind hitting them, at one point saying, "I don't know how you guys can stand it. I'm freezing my ass off up here." It was a pretty funny moment. He spoke for a little more than an hour. We knew that he was wrapping up, and so our group left then because we knew that the coming long lines of getting out was going to be impossible. So we left the stadium, walked through the maze of the line that we stood in for 4 hours. We got out onto the street and over across to the parking lot within 10 minutes. Can you imagine that? 4 hours down to 10 minutes. We took the exit from the parking lot and were in traffic on the way home within 2 minutes. So it was an amazing experience for us because we actually were able to get into the rally even though we arrived there after the event had started. Trump had made the announcement that they had expected about 10,000 people to show up for the rally, but then they had just given him the real numbers, and it was 42,000 of us were there. And there were 42,000 people there because it was just a sea of people. There's no way it was just 10,000 in that huge field. I'll tell you what, the fake news probably reported there were only 300 to 1,000 people there. I'm telling you, it was humanity everywhere you looked. So we had a great time because we got in, we saw the rally, and then we were able to get the hell out of there really quick. The only tough part was that 4-hour wait in line, inching ahead little by little with the 30-mile-an-hour freezing winds hitting us. But like I said, it was totally worth it because the people that we met were true American-loving patriots. Normal people just loving America and wanting to do their thing without the government on their back. That's what the movement is all about. When I woke up Sunday morning, I was shocked to find a political hack columnist named Will Bunch wrote an article from Saturday night's rally in the Philadelphia Inquirer. The headline tells you exactly what to expect inside the piece. The headline goes, "Trump stock brings peace, unity, and a ton of disinformation to Schnecksville," with the subtitle of "Fierce Mountain Winds in Lehigh County Couldn't Move the Bubble of Misinformation Surrounding the Throng at a Trump Rally." You don't even get into the article, and he has twice insulted 42,000 attendees. Bunch goes out of his way to make it known that he believes everyone who attended the rally lives in a bubble of an alternative reality. How so? From the People's Republic of Philadelphia Inquirer, quote, These rally goers are the vanguard of the 74 million who voted for Trump in 2020 and who still have him in a dead heat with Biden, according to a New York Times Siena College poll released hours before the event. Despite or maybe because of the 2 impeachments, the 88 felony charges, or the Project 2025 blueprint for a Red Caesar dictatorship. If the American experiment grinds to a halt after January 2025, it will ultimately be not the fault of Trump, but the everyday citizens I met Saturday who are so eager to put him back in the White House. He never mentions in his article that it could be possible that the Democrats are using lawfare against the former president, which is why he had 2 impeachments and 88 felony charges. That thought never crosses his mind. He went on to categorize Saturday's rally as an Orwellian celebration of an upside-down world, where he insults Trump supporters for believing that the lowest unemployment rate in more than 50 years is actually the worst economy ever. I guess Bunch missed any analysis on the March jobs report, where the Biden administration bragged about 302,000 jobs being created when the overwhelming majority of those jobs went not to American workers, but to foreign-born people, including many illegal aliens. The majority of those jobs were also part-time jobs that the administration and fake news columnists from the People's Republic of Philadelphia Inquirer used to make it appear that the unemployment numbers were the best in recorded history. After millions of people lost their jobs because the Democrat governors and mayors shut them down during COVID, Trump had set things in place so that a glass of water with a D on it could be elected president and the jobs would come back by the millions. Had Joe Biden done absolutely nothing at all, the lost COVID jobs would have come back. But Joe Biden did take action, and he made things bad, really bad. The Biden administration brags about 15 million new jobs being created, but they never talk about how the Democrats actually shut down 22 million jobs during COVID, giving them an 8 million job deficit after nearly 4 years in charge. The hit piece goes on. 8 years later, a Trump rally has become an Orwellian celebration of an upside-down world where the lowest unemployment rate in more than 50 years is actually the worst economy ever. The nation's cities are cesspools of violence despite a plunging crime rate, and the only person wronged on January 6th was not the scores of injured cops, but Ashley Babbitt, shot by a black police officer. I can almost guarantee no one mentioned a black police officer. At least none of the hundreds of people I spoke to would have. That's the disastrous distastefulness of the fake news media that turns people off so much. They have to make things up and make it seem that Trump supporters are all racists. Another highly insulting part of the TDS hit piece goes like this. In a sense, Trump himself is almost like the MacGuffin, the plot device that gives these characters an excuse to get together. We already know what the spiel is. We know what he stands for, one man, a middle-aged Canadian-American executive, told me. So why wait on this massive line? It's partly that a rally gives supporters a chance to get off the couch, shut down the TikTok app, turn off YouTube, and prove to themselves they are actually not alone in thinking that everything has gone to heck. But there's an even more insidious reason for coming out. Bunch once again insulted Trump supporters who couldn't possibly have gone to the rally because they genuinely support the 45th president, right? After witnessing his many achievements during his first term. No, they attended so that they could get off the couch and shut down TikTok, turn off YouTube, and prove to themselves that they are not actually alone in thinking that everything has gone to heck. Talk about living in a bubble. It's amazing how this guy could claim to have attended the rally and question people in line, yet not know a damn thing about Trump supporters. I was at the rally and did not see any of the things that this columnist wrote about. He spent the entire piece insulting Trump and insulting American voters who attended, including me. So my advice to you is this. Don't listen to these left-wing goofballs in fake news media. If you have a Trump rally coming to a place in your area and you've never been to one before, it is an event that you don't want to miss. And if you don't go to this one, you won't get the chance to go to any others in your area. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.
From the bottom to the top, I grind every day. No time for haters, I'm here to slay. Stepping on the doubters, no time to rest. I'm like a freight train, I'm the best. Yeah, chasing dreams, no matter what it takes. I'm on fire and there's no breaks.